Shalom, family trendsetter. All praises be to the Most High Power, Hashem, for allowing us to see another day. I'm driving, as you can see, so you will hear some noise in the background. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this video. I have some information I want to share with y'all, especially for you ladies. Now, for the last couple of months, if not a year, I've been doing a lot of prepping. Not only that, I've been actually acquiring firearms to protect my persons as well as my family member. Now, I know a lot of you Christians, y'all have Jesus as y'all protector, but for me, I go by what the Bible states. It says, God help those who help themselves. So he will give you the means to help yourself and bless you with the means that you have. So during this year of preparation, acquiring my concealed permit, you know what I mean, the opportunity for me now to carry a concealed weapon, which I don't do very often because I don't feel the need to, but if I am going into certain areas, you know, I may want to arm myself, but I try my best not to depend on that, you know what I'm saying, because I don't want to become like some group of people, if you know who I'm referring to. But anyway, during the course of the training, I've literally come across a lot of information, and one of which is, let's say for example, you're driving to a gas station to get gas. There is a possibility of you being carjacked. All right. So what I want to do, I want to share the information that I've gathered with you guys, because I'm sure a lot of y'all don't even consider that. Y'all go about your daily lives just doing your thing, not worrying about your surroundings, you know what I'm saying, your well-being. Now, a lot of people might say that I'm paranoid, including some of my family members say I'm paranoid. Why am I doing all of this? Why not? You know what I'm saying? We have to prepare because we're in war. We're in war. As black people, we have to worry about a lot of different situations, a lot of dangers. It comes by means of, even in your own community and shit, you have to worry about people jacking you. You have to worry about getting shot down unarmed by police officers. You have to worry about white supremacists. So the danger for black people comes from everywhere. So we have to prepare ourselves. So let's take, for example, right, going to fill up your gas at the gas station, whether you be a male or female. Now, how often do you go to the gas station without you know, praying around your surroundings, seeing what's around you, you know what I'm saying, if there's any threat? A lot of times you just pull up at the gas station and shit, get out of your car, pull out your wallet, and start looking for that credit card, that card that they use to track you. And then you insert it, and you're not even paying attention to your surroundings. You females, a lot of times, you know, let's say if you're going to pump your gas, you leave your pocketbook on your seat, and I'm sure 99% of you do it, so don't lie. Y'all do the shit. Because my wife, she does that. Every time I got to keep telling her, listen, put your pocketbook away, because it's like an invitation, you know what I'm saying? Especially now that we have a lot of people strung out on drugs, on opioids, meth, you know what I mean? We have a different demographic of people now that are drug users, meth users. You know, before we worried about going into certain black communities and shit, you know, worrying about getting jacked in certain black communities. Now you could go into a white community and get jacked. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to be vigilant. So again, you know, you ladies, do not keep your pocketbook visible on your car seat before you come out of your vehicle, male and female both, to go pump gas. Just scan around, you know what I'm saying? Look in your rear view mirror, your side mirror. Make sure there's no threat. Make sure there's nobody lurking, especially in the nighttime. That's when it's more dangerous. You feel what I'm saying? Because they have cover. And even when you go into, let's say, a convenience store or in the gas station to buy gas, before you just walk right in, just scan, you know, look through the window, make sure nobody's in there holding up the damn joint. You feel what I'm saying? You don't want to ever walk in on an armed robbery. So these are things that we don't consider. Before this training, I never really considered this shit. I mean, I was very vigilant to begin with, but you know, just a lot of the things now that I've you know, that was taught to me and shit, now I'm really paranoid. You fucking right, I'm paranoid, because I didn't realize there was just so much danger out there. So again, you know, you go pump your gas, do not come out of your vehicle immediately. Make sure your door is locked before you even come out and exit your vehicle. Look through the rear view mirror, side view mirror, make sure there's no threat, right? And then when you do decide to pump your gas using your credit card at the pump, You do what you got to do. You go back in your vehicle. You lock the door while the gas is pumping. A lot of times, you like to wait by the pump because you want to put a certain amount of gas in. Even if you're doing that, if it so happens that you only need a certain amount of gas, and you want to wait by the by the pump, by the gas tank, just be vigilant. Always scan your surroundings. Look for any kind of threat. You know what I'm saying? Especially behind you. You have to be careful, family, because now we're living in some dangerous time. It ain't like before. And even back then, you know what I'm saying, shit was dangerous. Just that we never really, nothing ever really came your way. So you're not really thinking about this shit. But now we have to be very vigilant. And another thing that I've noticed, like when me and my wife and my daughters, right, they go, let's say my youngest daughter, she's 10. And she like to bring her little book bag. It's like a little pocket book bag she put on her back. Mostly toys. She have money in it, but mostly like toys, her phones or whatever. And a lot of times she'll leave it on the car seat. And I'll be like, hey, Ruby, go and pick that up, hide that, put it on the ground, take it with you. And my wife would look at me like, why? It's nothing really of value in it. I say, yeah, there's nothing really of value in it as far as you're concerned. But to a meth head or to a crackhead or to somebody on drug or to just a general thief, or you know what I'm saying, they don't see it that way. They see an opportunity. It's a possibility. It might be something in it, especially if you're driving a nice car, right? Anything, even if you have a fucking plastic bag in your car, they're gonna look at it as some kind of values in the shit. They don't know that. You might know that there's nothing in the shit, but do they know that? I mean, just sometimes we just got to use common sense, and that's the problem with society today. We're programmed to have people think for us instead of thinking for yourself. So yeah, you don't want to leave any kind of valuables. You don't want to leave no phone charges and shit, in your car, because what that's going to do is going to say, oh, this person might have a phone in their glove compartment or whatever. Try to leave, let your vehicle be less conspicuous as possible. You don't want to show that it's a possibility that you might have something valuable in your car. All right. And again, every time you go to the gas station, shit, when I go to Walmart, right? Walmart, a family store, so they say. Before I go in that bitch, I'm always, like I said, when I pull up at a parking spot, I sit in my car for at least two minutes, and I scan and I look around, make sure there's no threat. I'm not talking about only black people. I'm talking about them people too, white supremacy. And I walk to and now it's a routine now with my wife. I walk to the damn front of the store, and I just stand outside for a minute, not to look like I'm, a threat myself and shit, suspicious or anything, but I just stand around, act like I'm on my phone, trying to, pretend like I'm on my phone, and I'm scanning, I'm looking around, making sure, nobody's following me in the motherfucker, or nobody crazy and shit, behind me, because I don't like people walking behind me. I hate that shit, right? And then the next thing I do when I walk into the store, before I even proceed to an aisle, I stand right in front of the store and I scan who's at the register, how many of them people are in the store, what I'm referring to, black people, right? And I just watch. If I feel uncomfortable, I see too many of them rednecks and shit in the store, Walmart, I'm leaving. That's just how it is, you know what I'm saying? Because I am not going to take the chance. Yes, I am paranoid. You fucking right, I'm paranoid, right? I am. So that's what we need to do. We need to be vigilant. You ladies now are going to become soft target with children, especially when you're walking with your kids. You're definitely soft target because, you have your kid. The kids usually slows you up and shit. So you have to be more vigilant. If you're able, family, to go and arm yourself, do so. I understand you got Jesus and shit. Let Jesus be the backup. Let Jesus be the backup for you Christians who believe in that fictitious character that never existed. Let him be the backup if you really believe that he existed and shit. Right? But for the most part, even in the fucking Bible, right? Didn't Peter have a sword, right? So much so he chopped off the centurion ears and shit. You know what I'm saying? So why did Peter need a sword back then if they had Jesus? You know what I mean? Just think about some of the shit that they tell you in Christianity. You have to turn the other cheek, love your enemy, and Jesus got your back. And nah, fuck that shit. The Most High got my back, and he tells me, right, to help myself. Because when King David, who's going to be my Messiah to come, right, my savior, well, he ain't gonna be my savior, but he's gonna be my Messiah. That's who I'm waiting for to come back. When King David was alive, guess what? King David ruled with an army. An army usually have weapons, and the Most High usually send these armies out to devour, according to the Bible now, according to the Bible, I wouldn't even say Most High, God sent these warriors out to divide the Jebusites, the Hittites, and the Havusites, or whatever fucking sites they were, right? And they needed weapon. When Goliath was slew by David used a slingshot, first of all, which was a weapon, and then he used a sword to cut off Goliath's head. Okay, and then he became king. So think about it. The Most High does sanction you to have weapons. You know what I mean? Remember, the Bible says God is a God of war. It does say that in the Old Testament. You know what I mean? So just think about it. You know, if the Most High or God allowed King David and King Saul and all these other, you know, patriarchs and shit. I don't know if Moses had a sword, maybe not, but he did have a staff. Probably would fuck you up with it. You know what I mean? Or cast a spell on you. Who knows? But at the end of the day, you always had a weapon in the Old Testament, and I'm an Old Testament believer. The old came before the new. The Bible says in Malachi 3:6, God doesn't change. So if God allows you to go out to do war and battles and shit, I don't think he have a problem with you doing this shit now in 2021. You feel what I'm saying? For you Christians that rely on Jesus Christ. That's why y'all getting caught out there, because while you black Christians are relying on Jesus Christ, these white Christians are arming themselves, practicing the Second Amendment right. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of y'all getting caught out there. Just like how Dylan Rule was able to go into the church building, the building of God, right? And struck down those 9 souls. Why? Because they put their guard down. See? They put their guard down. I'm never going to put my motherfucking guard down. Like I said, I don't walk around every day armed and shit because there's no reason for me to be that way. But when I know I'm going into a precarious situation, I am going to arm myself legally. And one thing I've learned, being a concealed carry or having a concealed carry permit, you are not at liberty to even brandish your shit. You know what I'm saying? You are restricted. You can't just go around and pull your gun out and threaten anybody and threaten in any manner. Believe it or not, you'll be charged more as a concealed carry weapon individual as opposed to a criminal. Because a criminal, they're just gonna shoot you and run away. You know what I'm saying? When you are carrying a concealed weapon permit, right, or firearm permit, that's the proper word, a firearm permit. You have, if God forbid you in a situation, I use that word very loosely, God, because God is saying, if the Most High, you know, let's say you're in a situation, forbid that you have to draw your firearm and defend yourself, it has to be to the point where literally your life depends on it. It's either you or that person, right? You can't just draw your firearm and the person is retreating. Let's say the person pull a gun on you, and you pull yours, and that person is running away with your shit. You're not at liberty to shoot them in their back. You can't do that, because now it's not really a threat. They're running away. Now, if this person is face to face with you, and let's say they pull their firearm and then they run behind cover and then trying to take you out, at that point, guess what? You got to do what you got to do and deal with the civil lawsuit later. Because see, even if you are justified to shoot this individual, you still got to deal with the civil suit that comes next. And that shit is more stressful than even the criminal, because a criminal, you can justify why you kill a motherfucker because he was going to kill you. But then, believe it or not, in this dumbass country called America, the United States of America, the fucking criminals sometimes have more rights than even you. I've seen a lot of people's situations, because like I said, I've been doing this research and training and shit. I've seen where it was a justified shooting, but yet still the person went to jail. Why? Because probably the criminal family member had a better lawyer than you had. So it's just a lot, family, and that's why I say, you know, even though you may be able to practice your Second Amendment right, as black people, family, we still got one down on us, right? Because if let's say I took out my gun, let's say I took out my firearm, can't say the G word, right? Took out my firearm to defend myself against a white supremacist, for example. And you know, I'm black and he's white, but he's a white supremacist willing to take my life, and I decide to take him out. Believe it or not, I'm gonna go through the hoops trying to defend myself. And they do have self-defense insurance too. You know, you have these organizations that actually defend you, give you lawyers, but you got to pay out your ass for it. You know what I mean? But family, I just wanted to share this with y'all because, like I said, a lot of y'all don't consider the fact that, you know, we walk around every day facing danger and shit, threats. You know, like I said, in our community, other community, and even the law enforcement as black people, because a lot of black people have gotten gunned down with their hands in the air. But I would say, do never ever feel the need to go on the offense. You know what I'm saying? If you're going into a defensive posture, make sure you get the proper training on how to use your firearm, the safety of storing it, you know, and when to use it. Because a lot of y'all think y'all could just get a concealed weapon or buy a gun and just walk around with this shit. No, it's a lot of restriction. This is one of the reasons why even now I'm driving. I'm going into Baltimore, right? You would say, okay, why don't you have your shit on you? I wouldn't, because it's just too much red tape. You know what I'm saying? I would rather have this shit on my persons at home. When I say on my person, on me at home, because in Maryland we have a castle doctrine. You come into my shit, I can shoot your ass down. I don't gotta worry about criminal or civil lawsuit. But driving around with your shit, I wouldn't do that, because I'm driving and I just don't like. I think I try my best not to even carry it when I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm going into an area where I know it's a possibility there might be some kind of threat or harm. But I try. I like to preserve life, and I'm not gonna bring no firearm into the black community to take any of my black people out. Hopefully I would never have to do that, use it, you know what I mean? But I try my best to spare life as opposed to take life. I'm not like other people who doesn't value life, who doesn't look at black people as human beings and shit. I look at everybody, well, not everybody is human, but I do believe, in valuing people's life and, preserving people's life. But I just want to share that with y'all. Make sure, again, family in closing, that y'all do watch out, when you're around, out about and shit. Don't leave nothing valuable in your vehicle. And another thing I forgot to mention, they will carjack you, because most of these vehicles now, they have key fobs, right? Before, back in the days, your car is running, the key is in the car, they could just jump in your shit and take off. Because a lot of you idiots, y'all still run have your car running while y'all in the store or at home. And again, if you're at home and you want to warm up your car, that's different. But I don't suggest you having your vehicle running while you're in the gas station or in the store. Even if you have your key fob and they can't just drive up with your shit, they're gonna wait for you to come out the store, and they will jack you, put you in the car, because they know the keys on your persons, right? The key fob, that is, and they will carjack your ass. Hopefully they will let you out a couple blocks later, but sometimes they'll take you out. I gotta go, family. Hey, family, there was one more thing I wanted to add before I was rudely interrupted with this dumbass spam phone call. So there is another trend that's going on, where you have these criminals literally rear-ending you, right? Running into your rear end. And what they want you to do, they want you to pull over, because in most cases somebody running to your back of your vehicle, you're gonna pull over. And I suggest that if you are going to pull over, that you make sure you're in a well-lit, area that, someone can visually see you and shit, especially if it's nighttime. Somebody does that to you in the nighttime, make sure you pull over, put your hazard on or indicator on, and pull over in the gas station somewhere. But, a lot of time when that happens, we have a tendency to, pull over and shit, get out of the car to assess the damage, that the other person inflicted on your vehicle, and that's also a way of setting you up, carjacking you. So let me give you some advice. Let me give you a tip. If somebody runs into you, right? If it's not a head-on rear end, like somebody literally like lost control or just run into you. If it's a slight tap in your rear end, make sure you look in your rear view mirror to see how many occupants are in the car that rear-ended you. And if it's something where it wasn't an extreme, like somebody literally run into you by accident, or if you feel this was intentional, try your best not to just pull over right away. Go somewhere where it's well visible, okay? Where there's other people there and shit. And if you see them, because remember now, everybody wear masks, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wear masks. You don't know the criminal from the person that's not willing to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is a criminal with the motherfucking mask on, as far as I'm concerned, until you can prove otherwise, you know what I mean? So just have to be careful, especially ladies that's driving by yourself. If you're not with someone, you know what I'm saying, that happened to you, definitely I would say look in your rearview mirror, have your phone ready, make sure your doors are locked. If I were you, what I would do, I wouldn't even come out of the car. You know what I'm saying? I would sit in the car, pull over, sit in the car, and let that person come out of the car, because one of y'all gonna come out of the car to assess the damage. So if you pull over and this person ain't trying to come out the motherfucker, then you know something is wrong, because you're gonna come out to try to apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. If that person sits in the car and you're sitting in the car, have your phone ready to call the police. You know what I'm saying? Have your engine still on, ready to drive off in the event somebody, you see more than one person, because there only should be one person that come out of the car, the person that's driving, to figure out, you know, what occurred. You feel what I'm saying? But if you see a male and female, or you see a couple of people coming out of the car, then you know it's a setup. If you see two people coming out of the car, what it is, you're gonna have the getaway driver, and you're gonna have the other one that's gonna take your motherfucking car from you and leave you stranded, or probably leave you on the road dead and shit. So just watch for that, okay? That's something very, very important. I forgot to tell my wife that shit. I missed that part, because it just came to me. All right, so yeah, if they rear end you, you sit in your car first. Get ready to call the police and shit. Listen, you know, I was involved in a fender bender. If you could get the license plate in your rearview mirror, say this is the vehicle description. If you can describe the vehicle, and make sure you get the tag number, and just sit in the car. Don't even get out the car until this person get out the car. Hopefully, if one person get out of the car, you know, just let them come to your window, slightly roll your window down, and say, hey, I just called the police, you know what I'm saying, and they're on their way, and you know, do you want to give me your information, because you're rear-ending me, or do you want to exchange information? I'm not coming out of the vehicle until the officer get here. Explain yourself. And if you see them, you know, you'll know when something is suspicious after you say what you say. And if they don't want to exchange information, let them know, okay, I already got your tag number, so, you know, you might as well exchange information, or you could just wait till the police get on the scene. That's what I would recommend. Don't even exchange nothing. Fuck it. Just wait for the police officer, the slave patrol, to get on the scene. Let them do their job. You know what I mean? Sit your ass in the car, get ready to roll out in the event you see some suspicious behavior. All right, that's something else I wanted to add. And with that, I gotta go. Shalom.